and he seemed even more unsettled than yesterday. He hadn't let her put him down for 3 hours now. Tipping the remains of the tub into her cracked old blender and muttering under her breath, Frances wondered whether it qualified as a pure start if you'd been cursing solidly since you woke up. She'd tried. Frances had taken Denny out to the sunroom after his first boob feed and laid him on her J-Mart sheepskin rug in the hope of getting some yoga stretches in, her old work laptop open to one of Elle's videos. But Frances couldn't touch her toes anymore. Her insides hurt and Denny just kept on whining. She'd thrown him the teething giraffe her sister-in-law had given her, then started chanting her mantra, the one she'd promised herself she'd use every day as she stretched. I am in love with my life. I am in love with my life. I am in love with my... But the morning trucks outside her window were drowning out her inner monologue, and she couldn't help being conscious of the sensation of her stomach rolls bulging every time she bent towards her toes. Frances switched mantras to one of Elle's. I am a work in progress. I am an unfinished masterpiece. I am a work in progress. The smell that hit her nostrils as she tried to get her nose to her knees cut things short. Denny needed changing. Now Frances was standing at the fridge door scouring for that $6 coconut water she'd bought yesterday, and still she forgot the psyllium. Perhaps if she could have sprung for the gold leaf, she'd be feeling better by now. Or if she'd just had the discipline to make it through those bloody stretches. No wonder she and Denny weren't moving through this day with positive grace. Did you drink that coconut water I bought yesterday? She found herself yelling from the fridge towards the bedroom. Troy? Frances pictured him coming home from work last night, tired and hot and possibly a little bit drunk, grabbing the cold bottle from the fridge door and sculling before pulling away and looking at the label like, "Whoa." She closed the fridge, Denny still whining in her right arm, and went to peer into the bin. Sure enough, there was the half-finished bottle of Orgo Cocoa Gold. You didn't even put it in the recycling, Frances yelled again towards the closed bedroom door, then went back to the blender. Well, Denny, she kissed her baby on his head as he rhythmically whacked her shoulder with the teething giraffe. No coconut water, no gold, no blueberries. What would Elle do? She grabbed the blender and stuck it under the running tap for a moment. Sydney Water's finest will have to do, Den. After ramming on the cracked lid, she flipped the switch to high. Whirring and crunching filled the kitchen, the blades stalling and screeching against the raw nuts. What Frances wouldn't do for a Nutrimullet. Denny started screaming in time with the blender. Frances held the lid on with one hand and jiggled him with the other. Oh, for fuck's sake, Frank! Troy's voice broke through the racket. He was standing in the kitchen doorway, distractingly naked, bleary, rubbing his head. Can't you just have toast like a normal person? Frances flicked off the blender and poured some of the sludgy green-brown mixture into a wine glass, the only clean vessel within easy reach. Cheers, Troy, she said, taking a swig and trying not to flinch. It tasted like bin. Denny's pudgy little arms reached towards the smoothie. She put it down and handed the baby to her partner as she pushed past him. I'm going to the gym. Seriously? He asked. But I only got in at 2. I am a work in progress, she called back to him from the corridor, and I am going to the gym. I've got to get to Gerva, Frances thought, as she smashed down the stairs, flicking bits of smoothie from her shirt. One of Elle Campbell's retreats will sort this rubbish out. Chapter 2. Elle. It was truly great sex that brought Elle back from the dead. As she wrote, "This is the kind of intimacy, goddesses, that can only come from true honesty, from a partnership without secrets, from a love that can make a broken woman whole again. Sex and money. Somebody else's money." The about page of her new blog read, "If you have found me here, after everything we've been through..."